The first set of Drupal theme templates we'll be covering are the page templates. Every page Drupal renders uses a page template. In this video, we will review what makes a page template file so important. So the standard page template Drupal uses is a file called page.tpl.php. Now you don't have to create this file from scratch, as the common Drupal theme workflow is you locate the standard templates in Drupal core, you duplicate them in your theme, and then modify as needed. So let me show you where the standard page.tpl.php file lies. I'm going to open my Drupal 6 folder, and we won't be visiting the themes folder. We will actually be going inside the modules folder. Inside the modules folder, there is a system folder, and we see there is a page.tpl.php file. In Windows Vista, it's automatically hiding the file extension. So don't be tricked by what Windows is showing on this screen. The file is actually .tpl.php. So let's actually look at this file in Dreamweaver. I'm going to edit with Dreamweaver, but we won't be saving this file or changing it. I just want to show you what's inside of a page template. In the next video, we would actually be duplicating the page template into our own theme and editing it. So let's see what makes up a page template. First off, as mentioned earlier, there are a bunch of template variables. All of these variables are usually specific to the single template that they appear in. So a couple of these I want to just highlight because we're going to see them inside of our markup. There will be the CSS variable. There's going to be the body classes variable. And of course, definitely the site name and logo variables. A couple of key ones that our Flower Shop will end up using later is the search box variable. And we get to the regions that are very important because this is where all our content ends up being injected into, which is left, content, and right. So let's scroll down to the actual markup used by the Drupal page template. So we see past the comments around line 78, we see the standard markup for an HTML page. We see tons of PHP variables sprinkled throughout this page. So we see here a couple of the variables that I mentioned above, which are body classes, logo, and site name. Around many of these variables are actual HTML markup. So this page is literally the standard page that will be used for every Drupal page of your site, because we need the HTML header code, and of course we need a body tag. What the PHP variables do here is actually replace this PHP line with actual content. Don't confuse the content right now with the node content, because styles, scripts, and all the other headings are sometimes considered part of the content. Normally, an HTML page would have meta tags in the head, but that's not the case with a Drupal page template. Instead, Drupal only requires a PHP variable to print on the page known as head, and all the things like meta tags will automatically be compiled into this one variable known as head and placed on this line. That is why there is a styles and scripts variable in this template within the HTML head tag. This is for all our style sheets and all the JavaScript needed for our website. We would not declare any styles or scripts in this file because Drupal will actually grab that information from our theme.info file and place that code here automatically for us. So let's move past the body tag and get into the actual markup of the page. So we see we have a standard div tag with an ID known as page, and it actually has a header div inside of it. In here we break down the logo, the site name, anything we need. And actually the site name is wrapped in an H1 tag. This is actually good semantics for a website. So scrolling past the header div, we see there is the search box, which our theme will be using later on for the Flower Shop. And if we go down a little further, we get to an area called container, which holds the navigation div. Now the navigation div is where the primary menu and the secondary menu appear. So here's the markup for both the primary and the secondary menus. Scrolling past the navigation header, we get now to one of the most popular regions, which is the left sidebar. So we see here that there is some logic that wraps the markup used for the sidebar left. This logic is PHP code, and it's very simple code, but you need to understand what it's saying here. So it actually is defining that if there is no empty content within this left template variable, then go ahead and spit out the markup to the page. So we see this print function call for left will actually enter the content here, but only when we satisfy this conditional logic. This is actually how Drupal and PHP pull out an entire region when there are no blocks or content to render there. That's how you magically go from a 2-column layout to a 3-column layout in Drupal. Now, one of the most important regions is the content region, and that is surrounded by a div with an ID of content. In here, we have the print content variable, and this content variable is actually where the main primary content goes, which is your node templates. So your node content would end up going through the node template and then be prepared and then fully injected into this line. So if we go past this, we'll see that there is a right bar, just like the left, and of course the footer message and the footer region. And at the very bottom of the page is probably one of the most important regions to Drupal and not our content, known as the closure region. A closure region is required at the bottom of every page template. This region is used by Drupal and modules to render any unseen content at the very bottom of each page. You do not need to declare this region in your theme info file, but Drupal does expect it to appear in every page template. Common scripts like Web Analytics require their own JavaScript code to appear at the bottom of a page so they can track users for you. This is a key reason why the closure region exists, to facilitate needs like this. What we will be doing for our page template is taking this code and modifying it by adding regions or changing some of the markup. Drupal is not limited to a single page template. Custom page templates can be created for the front page or the site maintenance page. Each of these templates can change the entire layout, and all of these templates are actually covered in this chapter.